Hey Kevin, what in the heck do you have now?
A new toy. I'm working with some bronze filament with the 3D printer at the house. And one of the ways to clean up a bronze 3D printed piece is to tumble it. Normally the rock polishers that you find, well, they only have about a 6-inch deep drum. Well, I found this on Craigslist. It's an old silver burnisher. And this was made probably back in the early 1900s, maybe the 19-teens, somewhere in that area. And it was used for polishing silverware. 12 inches deep, which is plenty big enough for what I want to do. But the problem is, this motor has stopped working. So I got to go back to my old school. I got to go back to automotive work, and I got to take this thing apart and figure out what the heck's going on here. So what I have to do now is I have to basically just start disassembling this motor, find out what's going on. Why won't it turn? It's locked up just about solid. I want to start with this little reduction gear assembly in here because I think this is where the problem is. But the first thing I have to do is get this collar off of that shaft so I can get the screws out. See, I got 2 screws out right here, but there's 2 more hiding down here in the bottom. And I got to get that collar off. And what I need for that is a gear puller. And what, you may ask, is a gear puller? And that's one of these. So what you have here is just this little H bar. It's called that because it's kind of shaped like an H. And it's got these little quick disconnect pins. So you can put different size jaws, different lengths onto the different H bars. So depending on what you're trying to reach around, whether it's this short little shaft that you want to reach around, or if you've got something longer, you're reaching farther down into a hole, or you have to reach farther out around something to pull it off. These come in all different sizes. The hole is for this little job. And it's like, what the heck is that thing for? This will actually fit in here with the other jaw going on the other side of it. Of course, this is hooked to the H bar. This has nuts on it to keep it from separating. So you can pull this in and get a good firm grip around what you're trying to pull off, and then turn your big screw down and it'll pull it right up off of the shaft. And that's what I'm going to do here. I hope. I did get the set screw out, and I did manage to get it to turn just the tiniest little bit on that shaft. So it's kind of broken loose, but we'll just see how much force it takes to actually pull it right off of there. So it's trying to pop those jaws off. I have to put enough pressure on there to try to pull it, and with a little bit of an angle that it's on, it's trying to pop those jaws out and make them pop off of there, and I don't want that to happen. So let me take it apart, and I'll put this in there where I can lock it down, and that way it can't go anywhere. So hang on a second. So let's try that again. Okay, so something's going on here. See, the problem is this little plunger that I got because of the point to meet up with the little indentation in that shaft, this is bigger in diameter than the shaft that I'm trying to pull this collar off of. so it won't go down in the hole. It's just stopping. So let me get something else that I can put down in that shaft to be able to push against, and then I can slide this whole thing right off. Okay, so I found a little extension to go inside there, put it all back together. Now let me get the crank in here. Oh, that makes life much easier. See, I was trying to do this at home, and I didn't have the puller there. And of course, I can also use like a ratchet on here with a socket. I can use the impact ratchet, you know, the big air ratchet, anything like that to help drive this in quicker. There we go. And what you may ask was the extra extension? A deep socket, little 5/16 socket, just the right size to fit up against that shaft there on the screw, but small enough here where it would fit down inside that hole and allow it to push it off. And here's my troublesome little collar. It's interesting. If you look, you'll see there's a flat spot milled into the shaft right here that met up with the set screw, but they also have a keyway. They have a key in this also to go along with that flat spot. The key is down here on the bottom of this shaft. So that's just interesting that they have two different ways to hold this thing in place. So that gives you a quick little look at a different kind of tool. Now, it's not a plasma cutter. Wait a minute. Plasma cutter would have taken that off real easy.
Yeah, permanent like.
Yeah, permanent. Okay, never mind. But I got a welder. But, you know, gear puller. You got something stuck on a shaft, you got to pull something off, you know, keep it in mind, keep it in the back of your head. Hey, I can get one of those things. So I'm going to go back to taking this apart, see if I can figure out what went wrong inside here. You guys are going to pop out to Facebook, search for Kevin Caron Artist, and like my page. I'd appreciate it. I'll see y'all next time. So that gives you just a quick little look at something